Hey everyone, what's going on? Adam here from Brian's Nerd Pub. It's kind of a little random live stream I'm doing right now. I just thought I'd jump on real quick and I got a lot of comic books here I was wanting to show you. I've had these comic books for quite a while, but they've just been in storage bins for quite a while. And honestly, I've gotten so much that I don't even know what I have. I got these from a friend of mine a few years back, and it wasn't really until a couple of years ago until I started like putting them into packages. And so just thought for today, while we're, while we're all quarantined, I just kind of get some of them out and show them to you guys. I was thinking about doing these like maybe once a week until I've gone through all of them. I mean, there's quite a bit. I got like 2 plastic storage bins full of them. So yeah, if there's anybody on and would like to watch, please feel free to join in. And yeah, the geeks, Matthew from the Geeks Attic actually gave me this idea to, do a video about these. So I just thought I'd go ahead and do it while I can. But before I do, I just got a quick announcement. This coming Thursday, 9 p.m., we are doing a trivia night on my channel here at Brian's Nerd Pub. We have Jeremy from Stupid Chainsaw Productions, who was on my channel last night during a live stream podcast. We talked about what we thought was the best and worst comic book films ever made. And recently I had Tanner. Hey, Rob D, how are you doing, man? Thanks for joining me today. And I had Tanner from Scarlet Writer's Geek Corner. He was on just before Jeremy was, and then before that I had Matthew from the Geeks Addict. And yeah, so be sure to go check out those podcasts. And like I said, this Thursday we have Matthew from the Geeks Attic and Jeremy from Stupid Chainsaw Productions joining me Thursday for a trivia night. And I did reach out to a couple more people and hope they'll be able to join me. But if not, then it's all good. But I will be the host of that, and there will be a first place prize for the winner. So, and it's going to be divided. It's going to be film trivia divided among 4 categories. It'll be like Star Wars, Jurassic Park, things like that. So. Well, with that said, I'll go ahead and get started with some of the comics I want to show you. I haven't read some of these, but I'll just be showing most of the covers. I really like this one. It's a Detective Comics one. Has Batman and Robin on there. I really like this this cover. I like you can kind of see the bluish tinge to Batman's costume. And I used to think that the original Robin costume was a little lame because of, the yellow cape and excuse me, it had really nothing to do with a Robin. And, normally when you think Robin, you think like red and black, but I kind of like it. I like it. I kind of like the yellow cape. And I had a friend of mine actually that I knew from college. He actually published a couple of comic books, and he said that had a theory as to why Robin's costume is always so colorful, and it's because he's a distraction, so that way Batman can take out the criminals. And I just thought that's smart, but kind of morbid at the same time. But yeah, just ahead, Rob D. I've been reading Kingdom Come, very unique art style. Yes, Kingdom Come. I love that book. I read that recently. Well, I say recent, like a couple of years ago too. That was Alex Ross, if I believe. Oh, I love that. I love that design of Superman. That costume that he had, like with that different style of S, the red and black one. Yeah, I love that too. And I love that story, and I might have to reread it again. And that's saying something because I don't normally reread stuff. Just a heads up though, everyone, most of these comics that I'll be going through, or most of them are, like, I'd say half of them are Batman comics, and just, I have all these that I was going to show you. So, but I'll just kind of go through them as quickly as I can. And again, hope you guys are staying safe out there. I know it's all crazy with the virus going around. Just hope you guys are staying safe and healthy. And so just be sure to remember to wash your hands and take care of yourself and stay healthy. But we got this one right here. Let me see if I can get it in the light. There we go. Sorry for the glare. Let me see if I can get a little closer. Yeah. Seems like Batman's being... Looks like, from what looks of it, is just the Spook. I guess that's who this villain is right here. The Spook. And It looks like they're about to put Batman in an electric chair. And you can see his classic 70s gray and blue outfit. I really like that. I'm kind of disappointed. I heard somewhere that Robert Pattinson's Batsuit was originally going to be gray and blue. And when I saw it, I was kind of upset. But they did say that he might have more than one costume. So it very well could be gray and blue. Now, this one's not technically a Batman costume. It's Robin. Let me see. There we go. I got to remember to turn it this way. Robin, Surprise, You're Dead, written by Willingham Mays and Sowd, S-O-W-D. I actually did read this one a while back. I just put it in plastic. Unique art style. It has Tim Drake Robin, and I do remember, spoiler alert, I do remember at the end of this one, Tim Drake's father finds out that he's Robin. So, yeah. That was an interesting read. Oh, here's a good one. I really like the cover for this one. DC Silver Edition of Batman meeting Superman for the first time. I'm really sorry for the glare, guys. I'm trying to angle it. There we go. But I kind of remember hanging this up on my original office whenever Dawn of Justice came out originally. I love that look. So this is more of a Superman comic. It's just where he faces Batman. Let's see what else we got. Now, most of these are original prints. Like a friend of mine that collected them, like he was moving out of his house and he collected these growing up when he was a kid, and he just gave them to me and said he was sad to see them go, but said he was glad that they were going to someone that appreciated them. But we got this one too. I'll bring it in a little closer. It's a Two-Face comic. Let's see. It's issue number 346. Yeah, little unique Two-Face costume idea. And here we go. Here's a Brave and the Bold. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that show, Batman the Brave and the Bold, but there's a comic book series of it as well. Let's see. There we go. It's the Batman and the Atom. I'm going to take a guess that's Ray Palmer, but you can see the Atom right here. Yeah, I think it's a pretty cool. Let's see. This one's issue number 152, and it came out in July. Now, this one I thought was kind of interesting, and this one's actually written in German. Like I actually had to, you can see some of the, I believe that's German anyway. You can see the German text up there. And I actually wondered if the whole thing was in German, and it was. And even on the back there, it's got some German text on it too. So it was probably released, and it might be a German print of it. And I thought that was actually really cool. Now here's another Batman one. It's not technically Batman. It is Batman, but it's got Catwoman on it. So, I got another. Let's see. Rob D. Out of curiosity, I once looked at Silver Age comics on eBay. Everything was sealed and graded, and I nearly choked at the prices. Oh. Wow. I'm not entirely sure how much those are worth, but I might look them up. I mean, they're not sealed or anything, and they're probably not in any great condition. I'd probably say decent. But I did look up some of the ones that I have, and they were probably reasonable, I think, for paper comics. They were probably, I think, the most expensive. I do have the original appearance of Gambit, like the original print, and I think that one was going for like $40, $50 on Amazon, but I didn't check eBay, so I'll have to do that. But yeah. And this one has Catwoman on it. This one's issue 460, I believe, came out in March 91. So this one's actually about maybe 20 years ago, close to around that. Let me get in a little closer so you guys can see. Yep, it's a pretty cool cover. Here's another Two-Face one. Looks like Batman's about to get the drop on Two-Face. There we go. Apologies for my lighting, guys. I'm still trying to figure out a good lighting system here. There we go. Yep, this one came out in July, issue number 313, and I like the prices up there. I was like, back then it was like 40 cents, and now for a comic like this, it's probably like $2-3. It's crazy, but I'm gonna try to get it in as close as I can. But yeah, I think it's really cool. Here's another Batman one. Like I said, most of these are Batman, but I do have some Spider-Man and some other non-Batman ones here. Most of these comics I got from they're at a mall, like a shopping mall at the old town I used to live in. And this guy was just, got a lot of comics and he was wanting to sell them. So, and I got this one there. This one is a Detective Comics one. This one has Clayface. Clayface is actually a pretty unique villain. I mean, mostly because the Clayface I'm used to is he's an actor, Basil Carlo, I think his name is. I like that an actor can be the villain because I think that's a unique villain idea, like someone that could turn into anyone and convincingly be anyone. And let's see, Rob D. How many years have I been buying comics? I started buying comics around the time when the first Spider-Man movie came out, so 2002. Let's see, how old was I? I was 13. So I've been buying comics buying almost comics for 17 years now. And before I never bought like comics like these, like this, the paper issued ones. Rarely. I'd buy like graphic novels because I like graphic novels better. I mean, I know they're more expensive, but it's just, I don't know. It's just, to me, if I want to sit down and read a comic book, I want it to like at least take me more than an hour, just so I can just kind of sit and relax. And with a normal comic, it's just like you're there for like maybe 10, 15 minutes. And I know that's just me. I like to have them all collected all at once. So, okay, this one came out in March 1992. Oh, this is it's called Batman Gotham Knights. And I think this is the first issue of it because it says issue 1 right there. Let me get a little close so you guys can see that. I need to get a better webcam system too, so that way I need to figure out how to do that. Matthew from the Geeks Attic actually has a system where he can just like he has like 2 webcams, I think, and he can just talk to the camera and then show it to another camera, and I got to figure out how to do that. But yeah, it's a 4-part series. It says part 1 of 4 up here, so I'm really sorry about this glare. But yeah, there's that one. I love the artwork on most of these. I know it's, oh wow, this one's definitely seen better days. This one's from June and it's issue 312. This one's probably not valued very much because it's kind of tore up around here, but I'm not really planning on selling these, honestly. I really like these, and the friend of mine passed these on to me because he knew that I would enjoy them, and I don't know, I kind of would like to, and I would enjoy them, and or I will enjoy them, sorry, and I don't know, I just kind of would like to hang on to them for as long as I can. Let's see, issue number 309, another Batman one. There we go. I'm not sure who he's fighting in that one. Oh, the Blockbuster is his name. Rob, do you like this cover or the other, or this one, the one I just had, where he's fighting the Calendar Man? Oh, that's the Calendar Man? Huh. It's a unique design for him, but oh, here we go. Here's another Two-Face comic. Detective Comics, April, issue number 513. And it looks like Batman's turning into Two-Face there. You can kind of tell right there. Looks like Two-Face did something to Batman, and Robin looks a little freaked out. I'm kind of wondering if that's Dick Grayson or Jason Todd. Normally around this era, like, I would assume it's Jason Todd. And here's another Gotham Knights one. the last one, the one with the orange Batman. Oh, okay. So this one, yeah, the one with the calendar man, yeah. Yeah, it's a really cool cover. I like most of these covers. I love the artwork of back then. It's just, I know it's probably not as, it's nowadays it's very different, but I really do appreciate like the old vintage artwork. I really love it. It's really classic. Another Gotham Knights. This is 2 of 4, and I'm not really sure who that is. The blonde guy. I mean, it could be anybody. It could be Bruce Wayne in disguise, or it could be. I know that Jean Paul, who became Azrael, who became Batman at one point, was blonde, so it could be him. Yeah. And ooh, this one's actually really cool. I like this one. Hope you can see it's a little dark, but it's a Detective Comics one, and it looks like Batman's. I wonder if this is part of the Batman Dracula. Well, maybe not. But it looks like Batman's devouring something, so I'm not entirely sure what it is. He's eating somebody or drinking someone's blood, and I know in the one where he fights Dracula. Sorry, that was just covering up my face. I know in that one he becomes a vampire. So spoiler alert. Okay, here's one that's not Batman. So here we go. Justice League of America, and I like this comic. I like the cover. It looks like the Justice League is fighting Red Tornado there in the middle. It's like maybe there's something. It's like, but we're warning you, his secret is a real killer. So maybe there's a secret about Red Tornado. And here's one. Oh, here we go. If you're a fan of the Teen Titans or the Titan show, or we got the new Teen Titans, and man, I'm really sorry about all this lighting. Maybe back this one up. There we go. We got Robin in the middle. We got a Kid Flash. Starfire's in there. Let's see who else. Cyborg, Beast Boy. Well, Beast Boy, you can kind of see is that little green little leopard or mountain lion, or what it looks like down there. Let's see. I've only been buying DC Comics for about 1 year now. For the longest time, I just never knew where to start because reboots, alternate timelines, event series, etc. Yeah. Honestly, I don't really read a lot of DC Comics. I like Batman. I like to read Batman comics. I'm kind of picky when it comes to DC. I've read the Flashpoint Paradox. That's it's just, I mean, if you want to start reading comics, I can probably recommend starting with that because that rebooted and turned it into the New 52. So, I mean, that's a good starting point, in my opinion. I mean, others might disagree with me. So, let's see. I'm trying to figure out what. I would also recommend Batman Nightfall or the Death of Superman comics. Those are the ones I like to read. I like to read the ones, like I said, are graphic novels. Like they're all like a big story compiled into one. I haven't read No Man's Land. I heard it was good, though. I have the novelization for that somewhere. I bought it recently before the quarantine happened and everybody started closing their stores. But, oh, here we go. Finally moving on to Marvel Comics. We have Spider-Man. Now, I actually remember when I got this comic. I got this comic when I was a kid, and we had a go-kart then, and I got into an accident with that go-kart. Like I fell out of it and I scraped my face, and my parents took me to a Target where they were having a signing, like Spider-Man was going to be there. A guy in a Spider-Man costume was signing comics, and he gave me this comic, and it was one of these is signed by him, and this one is Night of the Lizard. I do know that for sure. It's the origin of the lizard. And we're going back to DC. This is actually one of my favorite DC characters, Green Arrow. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I love Green Arrow. I haven't kept up with Arrow recently. I used to watch it quite a bit, but I was pretty devoted to it. But then it's just, I don't know. I guess I just started losing interest in it at one point, and I just need to go back and rewatch them or something. But yeah, we got Green Arrow, and it looks like Jimbo, I guess is the villain's name. It's that muscled up guy in the back with the bow and arrow. But yeah, what kind of comic books do you guys like to read? Like, what do you like? DC? Do you like Marvel? Do you like Dark Horse? Or like, is there certain characters that you guys like? Like I said, I personally like to read Batman comics. I like to read Spider-Man. I like to read Ghost Rider and Daredevil. I don't know. I like the very. Oh, let's see. Rob D says Batman, Nightfall, and Death of Superman are on my list. Actually, so far DC, I have Injustice years 1 through 5, Batman Who Laughs, and DC's. Oh man, I've been wanting to read Injustice. I started it, but it was on that DC streaming app, the streaming service, and it was just a little hard for me to read. So I might just have to actually just buy those and like on my tablet or something and just read them. But I do like the story of Injustice. Batman Nightfall. I actually haven't finished it. I've read through quite a bit of it, and I'm also reading the novelization of it. And Death of Superman, I highly recommend. It's a great story. And I would also recommend after the Death of Superman story arc, there's A World Without Superman and The Return of Superman. And there's like this whole series afterwards of like Doomsday. It's like Superman Doomsday, I think. Or Doomsday. I don't want to, never mind. I don't want to spoil it. Sorry. I highly recommend you read that. That's actually that was a good story. I remember there was like some good character development with Superman, and I would highly recommend that one. And let's see what's all. Oh yeah, and you have Batman Who Laughs. I haven't read that. I know about it though, and it looks kind of horrifying. I know there's like different origins of Batman, or there's like one called like the Grim Knight, I believe, where it's like a Batman Punisher mix, and then there's one where Batman's like the Flash or something. But we also have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I actually love the Ninja Turtles. I've been wanting to read some of the original comics of them, but I just, they're always so expensive. Like when Hastings was open, I'd always want to buy them, but they were like $50. But we have the Ninja Turtles. We have Leonardo down there, and I'm not sure if I see. Well, yeah, the other turtles are in the background. You can see Michelangelo right there twirling his nunchucks, and Donatello's right there, and I can't quite see Raphael, unless that's him right there and he's disguised. Oh, speak of the devil, we have Back for Good. This is one of the Reign of the Superman. By Death of Superman, I was referring to the whole line. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Great. Yeah, I love that story. I mean, my brother and my brother-in-law are huge Superman fans. And, I remember a couple of times where they were just like, oh, that story, because, their favorite character was killed in that. But it was a great, great story. It's very brutal. And I really hope that you enjoy it, Rob D. I think you will. It's a great comic. But this is Reign of the Superman. And we have Superboy. We have the Eradicator. I actually like the Eradicator. I think his costume looks pretty awesome. And we have the black suit Superman and Steel right there. And it looks like Green Lantern is up there too. I'm not sure what he's doing in there. But and we also have Supergirl right here. Bringing it a little closer for you. Oh, this is I was excited to show off this comic. It's Wolverine. I love this cover. It looks very vintage, and I haven't really read a lot of X-Men comics, but I want to. Let's see. Rob D says I mostly read Star Wars comics, but I also have all the Gears of War comics, one of the Halo, 2 Spider-Man comics, and the Infinity Gauntlet. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've never read the Infinity Gauntlet. I kind of want to, though. I kind of want to compare it to the movies. I have quite a bit of Spider-Man comics, and I think my next one is a Spider-Man comic. And I have some. I used to collect the Ultimate Spider-Man comics. I used to love those, but I'm not entirely sure what happened to him. I know that Miles Morales took over as Spider-Man, but I'm not sure what the Ultimate Comics timeline comics are now, and I'm not even sure if they're still doing them. But I love that Wolverine comic. I love that suit. I wish we kind of had that suit in the movies, but and the back of the cover art is pretty cool. We got Cyclops and we got an unmasked Wolverine right here. So I have read Star Wars comics though, Rob D. I've read I have quite a bit of them. I had some of the older ones that Marvel produced, and let's see, what's I want to read the Legacy comic with Cade Skywalker. I've read Dark Empire. Like that was the very first Star Wars comic that I sat through and read the whole story, the Dark Empire trilogy. Let's see. Here we go. This is actually one of my favorite Spider-Mans, Spider-Man 2099. And we can see the real one. And it looks like he was cloned or something because there's copies of him, but the real one is, I guess, right here. Kind of just standing there. Yeah, I love Spider-Man 2099. I love Miguel O'Hara. It's a unique story, and I don't know if you saw Spider-Verse, Rob D, but I really hope that they bring spoilers if you haven't. I'm sorry, but they did have a cameo of 2099 in there, but that's all I'll say. Here's another one from the X-Men, more of a spinoff, really. It's Vision and the Scarlet Witch. And let's see. There's Scarlet Witch right up there. There's Magneto. There's Quicksilver. And I actually really, out of all the X-Men characters, I've always loved Quicksilver. I don't know. There's just something about him. It may just be out of like speedsters, really. I just realized I'm really dark. Like in the shadows there. Look kind of weird. And World's Finest. It's got the Justice League. It's got Superman, Black Canary, Green Arrow, Batman, Wonder Woman, and I can't remember. Geez. It's not the Joker. I can't remember who that character is. Jack Ryder becomes him, I think is. I can't remember that character's name. But I know that the Joker was trying to create a copy of himself. The Creeper, that's his name. I think his name's the Creeper. Yeah. And from another X-Men, we have Gambit. I've always liked Gambit, liked his story. I loved his superpower. I always thought that was actually really cool. You know, I mean, being able to make everything explode, and with having a deck of cards, 52 little explosives there. I always thought that was actually really cool. But I like Gambit's look. I like the trench coat and everything. Moving on to something a little different, we got Iron Man. Let's see. I have not seen Spider-Verse, but spoilers don't bother me. I've seen the Tobey Maguire trilogy, the MCU movies, and Venom. Oh, okay. Yeah, I recommend Spider-Verse. But yeah, I didn't want to give away the story on the Spider-Verse. So I'm glad that they don't bother you. I felt bad for a minute there. It's a good movie. I recommend it. It's really good. It's I actually mentioned this in my podcast last night with Jeremy that it was better at it was better about turning a movie into a comic book than the Hulk movie did back in the early 2000s with Eric Bana, where they tried to make that a moving comic book or a living comic book, and it just failed. But this movie actually did a lot better, and it was great. But like I said, we got Iron Man, and it looks like he's fighting Doctor Doom there. And I like Doctor Doom as a villain. He's actually one of my favorite Marvel villains. This is September issue number 150 of Iron Man. I like the cover. I like the little face-off that he's getting into with Doctor Doom there. Let's see. We got Captain America, and there's Bucky down there, who as we all know in the MCU movies, becomes the Winter Soldier. And I actually mentioned that too in the podcast, that the Winter Soldier movie is actually one of my favorite Captain America movies. It's a good action film. I love the theme that, Captain America, who's supposed to be a symbol for American patriotism in the Marvelverse, is branded now a fugitive and, hunted by SHIELD and, Hydra. A Hydra infiltrated SHIELD. And I always loved that film. I always thought it was really good. Or that was not Winter. Oh yeah, it was. It was Winter Soldier. I'm sorry. I didn't want to get it confused with Civil War. But yeah, it's a really cool cover, and it's got the classic design of Captain America. And not technically Iron Man, but we got War Machine. That's actually a really cool cover. I think even as a 9-year-old kid, I hated those panel shots from all of 2013. Yeah. I mean, it was kind of a little weird. Like, it just kind of makes you like dizzy. Like you're trying to figure out where to look and everything. And it was weird. Yeah. I much prefer the Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton. But yeah, I like this cover of War Machine, and he's actually a really cool character. I actually think he's a pretty interesting character, and I love the what's this word? Maybe the bromance between him and Tony Stark. Like you can definitely tell he's like a really good friend to Tony, like especially in Civil War. It's just I think it's a really cool character, and I love that scene in the second Iron Man movie where he and Iron Man get into a fight, and it kind of gets a little brutal. I always like that scene. It was a very suspenseful and very tense scene, and I thought it was well done. Here we go. We got Deadpool. Now, I'm not sure if this is when Deadpool was a villain or if he was just an anti-hero, because I know he was originally started as a villain. And I haven't really read any Deadpool comics. I think the only Deadpool comic I've read was Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. And I think that's the only one that I read. And I know a friend of mine who is a big Deadpool fanatic, he hated that one because he said that Deadpool was more serious in that one, and the War Machine cover. Yeah, it was really cool. I really like that cover too. But oh, I'm sorry. The cover kind of reminds me of Highway 35 Hot Wheels comics. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying you loved the War Machine cover, like with a emoji or something, but I must have misread it. Yeah. Yeah, this is actually a really cool image of Deadpool. Like his sword looks kind of weird. Like it just looks like a little string. I mean, he could just be turning it, like angling it the other way to where it's on its flat side, but here's a Fantastic Four one with the guest appearance of Spider-Man. I actually like the Fantastic Four. I just wish they'd actually make a decent movie of it. Out of all the movies, I think the very first one they came out with was probably the best one. And that reboot that they did was, I thought it was garbage, honestly. It was just, I didn't like it. It was just a train wreck. But I like this cover, and you can kind of see the Fantastic Four down here. You can see Mr. Fantastic Thing and Susan Storm, and Johnny Storm's up here. Looks like they're fighting Spider-Man. Yeah, a fighting mad Human Torch battles the amazing Spider-Man high above the city. Wow, that's kind of weird because they're actually really, Johnny Storm and Spider-Man are actually pretty good friends. Here you go, Rob D. You mentioned you read the Star Wars comics. This is what I was mentioning. I got a lot of these original ones. I haven't read them. I know that they're not canon it's like their own little story. And this is where all the lightsabers, regardless of whether you're Jedi or Sith, are red. Yeah, like because Obi-Wan Kenobi right there has a red lightsaber, and so does Luke, and Darth Vader just looks kind of weird. He kind of looks like the Black Manta from the Aquaman comics. Let's see. Here's a What If comic. I don't know if you're familiar with those guys, but what ifs, like here's what if Namor had joined the Fantastic Four. And it looks like and you can see the 5 logo on Reed Richards there, so it's like that'd be the Fantastic Five now. I don't know too much about Namor, honestly. I know obviously he's the Marvel equivalent to Aquaman, but I don't know if you've ever played Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but that's the extent of my knowledge of Namor, is that he just lives in Atlantis, and he's not a fan of the surface world, so that's just that's the extent of my knowledge of Namor. Robbie says, I saw the 2005 Fantastic Four in theaters, seen Rise of Silver Surfer 2, refused to watch the 2015 reboot. Honestly, I recommend it. I recommend not seeing it. Sorry. I didn't like that all of them were kids, and they kind of slightly altered the origin, and it's just it wasn't good. I don't even remember it that well, but I just remember walking out just hating it. And I know that they were attempting to try to set it up again, but it just tanked so bad. Like it was not good. The only thing that I liked about it is like I liked the design of the Thing, of Ben Grimm, the Thing in that one. I thought that it was better than the original ones. But yeah, Robbie, I highly agree that it's probably better to not watch that one. So, and trust me, you're not missing anything. And this one is Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's see. I'll bring it in a little closer so you can see it. I haven't read Guardians of the Galaxy. I never read the comics. I just saw the movies, and the movies I liked. Yeah, I might have to check out a Guardians of the Galaxy comic at some point. I got some more comments here. That Star Wars comic is a partial adaptation of A New Hope. The first 6 issues aren't it. Oh, okay. Okay, so it does follow the movies. Okay. I didn't know that. I thought I heard somewhere that they just kind of go off and do their own thing. Like, so. Okay, so I'll have to check those out. I got quite a bit of them, so I might actually have the full. You said the first 6 issues. I might actually have those. I have quite a bit of the Star Wars comics. I love the cover of this one. Spider-Man side by side with Ghost Rider, and I think that's Dan Ketch Ghost Rider, just from the style of the bike. I love Ghost Rider. I've always loved the story. I have quite a bit of Ghost Rider graphic novels, and the Spider-Man comics actually really cool too. It's just letting you guys check it out. I love that design of Spider-Man. I'm wondering if this is. It doesn't say. I was wondering if it was Todd McFarlane. Oh, it's Revenge of the Sinister Six. I didn't even notice that early. It's like, I guess Ghost Rider helps Spider-Man fight the Sinister Six. I'm hoping we get a movie of that soon. I know that they've been teasing it for some time now, but I really do hope that we see a Sinister Six, see them in the movies at some point. Here we go. Here's another. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think it's the Sinister Six, but there's another one, classic Spider-Man, and it shows him fighting, the Lizard up here. There's the Vulture, Doc Ock, and the Green Goblin. Oh, and the Kingpin. You can see the reflection of the Kingpin in Spider-Man's mask. It's a really cool comic. Really cool cover. I like it. While we're all quarantined, I might just have to just sit down one day and just read all of these. Here's another Spider-Man one. This one's actually. Oh, is this the first appearance of the Sinister Six? Oh, wow. I like the cover of that one. We got, let's see, we got Doc Ock, Craven, Mysterio, Electro, Vulture, and the Sandman. Let me put it in a little bit closer so you can see it. I like that cover, actually. I think it's a really great cover. Let's see. This is April, issue number 150. I think this is 1963, it looks like. I was trying to read the date up here. I think this is from 1963. It looks like it's from the 60s. Let's see. X-Men versus Dracula. Yeah, they've actually had quite a bit of stories where certain characters have gone up against Dracula. I know that Batman has, Blade has, obviously. Well, I mean, that actually Marvel, it makes more sense because there's actually a Marvel comic of Tomb of Dracula. Yeah. So Blade has fought Dracula many times, and so is Spider-Man, and now the X-Men apparently. Yeah, I like the brown brown costume of Wolverine. Like I said, I hope we see that costume someday. And oh, I'm sorry, I just realized my hat was blocking the cover there. I gotta read more X-Men comics. I actually love the X-Men. I just haven't read the comics. I like Kingpin, and I think it's Ultimate Spider-Man. He's like 10 feet tall and looks like he weighs 1,000 pounds. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I actually have that one over there with the Kingpin. He does look huge. And especially compared to like a 16-year-old kid, 16-year-old Spider-Man, like he looked massive. And even Spider-Man has super strength. And I saw that he tried to punch the Kingpin in the stomach, and it just didn't even phase him at all. And my favorite part of that is when Spider-Man just like brings out these notes, and they're all like, making fun of his weight, and he's like doing fat joke after fat joke of him. And when I first read that, I thought it was hilarious. And we've got another Spider-Man villain right here, the famous one. We got Venom. I enjoyed the movie Venom, and I like Tom Hardy's portrayal of him. He did a lot better than Topher Grace from Spider-Man 3, in my opinion. And now there is some rumor that they're going to be bringing Tom Holland's Spider-Man into the Venomverse, or the Sonyverse, is I think what they call it. But I guess we'll see how that's all going to work. I know that Disney has Spider-Man for at least another 1.5 movies, and then I think depending on how they go, he's supposed to go back to Sony or something. I'm honestly not quite sure what's going to happen. I'm just kind of like one day at a time when it comes to that. And all right, I got 3 more for today's episode, or today's live stream. And like I said, I'll be doing these probably once a week. Rob D, I have that exact Spider-Man you're talking about with Fat Joe. Yeah, it's I think it's the second volume of Ultimate Spider-Man. Yeah, I enjoyed reading that one. There was a lot of tension in that one because Spider-Man has only been Spider-Man for like maybe a month or so, and he's already been unmasked and everything, and it's just and I love the Ultimate Spider-Man comics because it kind of just shows just how a realistic Spider-Man would be, because even though he's got super spider powers, he's still just a kid, and even though he's a genius, he's still just a kid, and he's getting his butt handed to him. He keeps getting unmasked and everything, but he's still trying to fight and do the right thing, and that's what I've always liked about it. But let's see. This is a part 1 of 2, The Incredible Hulk, Fall of the Pantheon. I'm going to guess that at this point, Bruce Banner's mind is in the Hulk's body, because I know that happened for a while. Bruce Banner just transferred his consciousness into the Hulk's mind. So he's always Hulk now, or Professor Hulk, as he is now referred to as in the MCU. But I like that outfit he's wearing. It's kind of nice having the Hulk in not torn clothes. Let's see. I got 2 more. I have the Silver Surfer, and you can kind of see him right here. It looks like he's Looks like he's getting his butt kicked by. Oh, I think that's Thanos. I think I'm not entirely sure. That looks like Thanos. It says something about the Infinity Gauntlet up here. I'll bring it in just a little bit closer. Yeah, I think Silver Surfer is in a fight with Thanos, and doesn't look like it's going in his favor very well. Yeah. Oh yeah, it says Infinity Gauntlet crossover, so it very well could be Thanos. But all right, this is the last one, and again, thank you guys so much for joining me on today's live stream. And like I said, there'll be more of these. I'm gonna probably do one per week until I go through the whole comic book collection. But here's the last one. It's Spider-Man working with the Punisher. Now I know the Punisher actually originally appeared. Oh, I'm sorry. The Punisher actually appeared, I think, originally in a Spider-Man comic, and I know that comic actually I think is worth quite a bit. And this isn't the original appearance, but I love the Punisher show. I thought it was pretty good. I liked the actor that they got to play him. I thought he did really well. I know that Shane from the Walking Dead show, and I know it's supposed to take place in the MCU, but it kind of like in its own little area, I guess. I mean, it's kind of confusing because I know that they mentioned the Avengers and everything, but they don't really like show them. So it's kind of like that's like their only way of confirming that they're somewhat in the MCU. But yeah, that's what I got for you guys for this episode for this live stream. Like I said, I'm gonna go through all of these and try to maybe for all the month of April. Just do once a week to show off all these comics and everything. So, but thank you guys so much for joining today, and hope you guys again are staying safe, staying healthy. Just staying, practicing good hygiene and everything. Just doing what you can do because that's all that matters is that you guys are staying, healthy and staying safe. And it's crazy times we're living in, but hopefully it'll all pass. Fairly soon. But again, thank you guys so much for joining me, especially and thank you, Rob D, for joining me in the comments. Hope you are doing great, man. And like I said, this coming Thursday, there'll be a trivia night on my channel with Matthew from the Geek Static and Jeremy from Stupid Chainsaw Productions. They so far have confirmed that they will be joining me for the trivia night. And I'm still in talks with a couple of other people to maybe join in on that one if they can, but hope to see you guys there for that one. And thank you, Rob D. Thank you again for joining me on this live stream, and I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you on the next live stream where I feature all the collections and everything. So and again, thank you guys so much, and you guys have a great day, and I will hope to see you guys this Thursday. Bye, guys. Be safe.